Before I begin this video, there's something I should say. It's a secret I've been holding for a long time, and I figured now would be a good time to talk about it. As of right now, I'm going to come out of the closet, and I hope that all of you can bear with me for a second. Okay, here I go. Phew, thank goodness I did. It started to stink in there. What? When I was little, I didn't play many AAA games. I owned a couple, but not enough to get myself into the true gamer crowd. So most of my time gaming was spent to licensed games. Licensed games have a very complex system. Some are really good, others are terrible. Being me, you've come across a lot of licensed games, either on the internet or through weird stores in town. So today we're looking at the oddities, the weird ones, and the games in my collection. These games aren't necessarily bad per se, they're just weird. I found 6 of those games, so let's begin. This list isn't in order from least favorite to favorite, but if I had to pick my least favorite out of the bunch, it would have to be number 6, Scooby-Doo Mystery Mayhem. So I guess it is in order from least favorite to favorite. I need to rewrite the script. In this game, mysterying solve mysteries and capture ghosts all revolving around a mysterious book called the Tome of Doom, which Shaggy and Scooby used to capture said ghosts. You can pretty much see what they did there. They ripped off a probably much better game, Luigi's Mansion. However, instead of something techno and cool like the Poltergeist 3000, you have a dirty old book. Yeah, this game is flawed, from its confusing puzzles to its frustrating vehicle sections to the pointless switching between characters mechanic when you only need to play as Scooby to beat the game. However, I still enjoyed my time playing the game. Why? Because it's a great Scooby-Doo experience. Everything in this game is total Scooby-Doo, from the music, levels, and writing. If you want an interactive Scooby-Doo series, I think this game's worth checking out. With anything popular, there's bound to be something that either rips it off or uses similar ideas, and Uncharted is no different. I've seen plenty of games use the linear levels and shooter mechanics Uncharted is known for, and one of those is the Bourne conspiracy. I've been meaning to get into Jason Bourne for a while now, and thank goodness I did recently, because the Bourne trilogy is an awesome film series. Most of the time.
It's Jason Bourne.
And when I found out there was a Bourne video game, I was really taken by surprise. For the most part, the game is pretty decent. The story, however, is a jumbled mess. At first, it looks pretty cool as you're following Jason's missions before the events of the books and movie. But then it just turns into the Bourne Identity. No, really, it's the same exact plot. Okay. Besides that, the game is your average third-person shooter. You run, you gun, you cover, it's a basic affair. One neat thing about this game is that there are finishing moves. When you attack enemies, a meter will fill up, and if it fills up certain amounts, you get to finish enemies off either using your fist guns, or in my favorite case, use the environment to bash their skulls in. If you ever wanted a game that makes you feel like a super government agent, this is the game for you. Finally, that's not Matt Damon. With all the SpongeBob games out there, there are ones that stick out whether in quality or weirdness. The one that sticks out the most to me in my SpongeBob game collection is SpongeBob's Boating Bash for the Wii. This game follows SpongeBob finally trying to get his boating license for hopefully the last time. He fails again. So the whole game is him trying to get his license using a weird driving system. On the surface, it may seem like a standard racing game, but if you look closer, you'll realize it's very unique. The game also has destruction derby elements and levels with the boats being destructible and the rings you drive in. Every boat has a health bar, and in some levels you get more points by ramming into those boats. Those boats also have their own stats, so it adds a lot of variety, mixed in with some comedic banter from all the characters that, unlike other games, doesn't make me want to not live, and you have a pretty enjoyable game for what it is. Telltale Games is an interesting little developer. They make some pretty brilliant games from what I've heard, but at the same time, they don't have any original ideas on their timeline so far. With this level of both care and laziness, they're bound to screw up at least once. And they did with 2011's Jurassic Park. You know those movies that are so laughably terrible they're kinda amazing? Well, this is like those films. This game is so bad, it's great. The interesting thing about this game's story is that it takes place at the same time as the first movie. Unfortunately, that's the only notable thing about this game's plot. The characters are bland and uninteresting, and some of the storylines are either really complicated or unintentionally hilarious. The game also looks a little weird. The engine can't obviously do full body movement very well, so the end result looks like a bunch of dolls flailing and dying. And I'm gonna be honest, some of the deaths in this game are gold. Yeah, I enjoyed my time playing this game for some reason, probably because of the absurdity of it all, but also from some unironic reasons. For example, the scenes with the dinosaurs were well made and were atmospheric enough to be in a Jurassic Park game, and it feels really satisfying to nail those QT events Telltale's kind of infamous for. This was also the first time I think a mosasaur was shown in the Jurassic Park series. Take that, Jurassic World, with your mosasaur thing. I haven't seen Jurassic World yet. The point is, Telltale's Jurassic Park is a beautiful mess that I think is worth playing. On a side note, the box art on the Xbox 360 version. It says on the back that you'll discover the fate of the stolen embryos. Yeah, because that was the stuff we truly cared about in the film. You know, other than the fact that dinosaurs infested an island. Oh, I like this game. Okay, so picture this. You're exploring the internet one day looking for some old PlayStation 2 games to play. You've been searching for a while and then you come across this. Clearly you have some questions, as did I when I first saw it. You forget about it for a while until you see it one day at a local game store for a cheap price. You get it, and once you play it, you realize, well, that was alright. Did you expect me to call the game a piece of trash? No, the game was fine, I swear. This game is alright, but at the same time, who thought this was a good idea? It's based on a comic book from Italy. This game was a recipe for failure, and it shows from the negative reviews it got. However, I still somewhat enjoyed playing this game. It follows Donald Duck becoming the superhero PK to fight off an alien duck race with a floating head as a companion. This game is weirder than the thoughts I have in my head at night. It's basically a linear 3D platformer a la the first Sly Cooper game with some third-person shooter elements, surprisingly. There's not a whole lot to talk about with this game. It's a simple and charming game for what it is, and mixed in with the cel-shaded art style makes it alright, at least for me. And again, I am weird, so...
Ocean man, take me by the hand, lead me to the land that you understand. Ocean man, the voyage to the corner of the globe is a real trip. Ocean man, blah 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 blah, I don't know the lyrics to this song.
Number 1 is Toy Story 3. What makes this game the weirdest out of all the games featured is that it's actually awesome. Like, holy smokes, this game rocks! For a movie license game, it's a near masterpiece. The reasons for that are the graphics, controls, levels, and toy box mode. I'll tackle each of those reasons one at a time. First, the graphics are superb and very pretty and is faithful to the movie. Second, the controls are smooth as butter, and the levels are honestly some of the most memorable in any game I've ever played, especially the Buzz Lightyear level. I mean, look at this!
We're picking up a blip.
That's not good.
Buzz, are you there?
I'm through the meteor shower.
Moments like that are what makes this game sort of unbelievable. Finally, there's Toy Box Mode, a large explorative world where you manage a small town as a sheriff completing side quests and helping the townsfolk. This mode has a lot of stuff to do and tons of collectibles to find, so it's a good post-game to play through once you beat the story mode. In the end, this game is very surprising. It may even have a place in my top 20 favorite games, even though I haven't actually beaten it yet.
That final boss was kind of tricky.
I'm alternative Owen, and I could actually play and finish an awesome game like Danganronpa 2, but you know what? I think I'll just play SpongeBob again.
Thank you all. Good night. Be good to each other. Have a nice ride home. We'll see you at the coffee shop tomorrow.